Hello, welcome back to another episode of Miguel's View. Let's talk about our watch list for tomorrow. Let's get started. Alright guys, welcome back to another episode here. Let's go ahead and get started with the SPY. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Hopefully you guys are ready and excited to trade tomorrow. Let's start here with the SPY. Let's see what the SPY is telling us for tomorrow. So the SPY, we opened up, didn't open up. We closed with a doji candle, big doji candle here. We did close with red volume with momentum to the downside. So tomorrow, I'm expecting more red, just going by this chart. Also, we go to the weekly. Let's zoom out a little bit. We can see the weekly here. We close with a flat top, which signifies more momentum to the downside. So we'll see. We did crack this doji here on the weekly, and as we were talking last week, anytime you break below, you have more downside, and that's what happened here. So again, on the weekly, if you've been seeing my past videos, we have this trend here, and as long as we stay below this trend, we're just going to be trending down to the downside. So on the weekly here, we do have the support right here at 410, which we bounced perfectly last time. And so 410 is going to be an area where we could potentially have another daily bounce in today. But I don't know that we can hold with everything going on. If we do crack here, I think we have room to come to this 380 area here on the weekly. But let's talk shorter term. Let's see what the daily is telling us here. Again, the daily, we have an indecision candle here. We break below. We have room to run to about this 413, 410 area. This would be an area where I would be looking for maybe an intraday day trade for potential bounce. But, we'll see when it comes to that. But that's something that I'm going to keep an eye out along with our Discord channel. But let's go ahead and look at that 1 hour, and let's see how the 1 hour is holding up. So you could see here on the 1 hour, we broke this upper trend that we had here since Tuesday. Okay, we broke this, and we had been bouncing off this trend really nicely. But here on Friday, you could see we broke the trend. Okay, and usually when you break the trend, you come and test the trend, and then you come to some more downside. So that's what I'm expecting tomorrow. If you saw my previous video on Friday, I told you that we potentially could come and hit this level here. That's what I was looking for, a target before we bounced off of. But what happened was pre-market, we hit that right away. So it didn't even give us a chance to go short in this area, because by pre-market at 5 in the morning, we hit this area and we hit the trend right to the dot. If you saw my previous video from Thursday, you see that we had this trend here, and this was a target that I had mentioned. Again, that's why you need to subscribe to this channel. And if you want to join us live, you can subscribe also to the Discord. But so tomorrow, that's what I'm looking for, guys. I'm looking for a potential bounce here, and then a rejection and come down to somewhere around this area to potentially 410. Okay, 410 is an area where we previously bounced, and we bounced pretty hard off of that area. So 410 is going to be an area that you want to look out for, and potentially maybe intraday bounce here. But if this area cracks, we're going to be looking at here for the 400s and 380, which we said on the weekly was a possible target is again. So watching that for tomorrow. Let's keep an eye on that for tomorrow. All right, let's look at the Qs and let's see how they're looking for tomorrow. Again, let's go ahead and start with the bigger picture here on the Qs. Give it 1 second. Again, look at, we broke that doji, that weekly doji, and guess what happens? As soon as we broke it, we had closed that doji with red volume. We broke to the downside. We came all the way to 320. So you're watching this video, video previously last week, you had a good indication that this was going to break down. Momentum to the downside, you see here, momentum what happened to the downside. Red volume here, and then you have a red doji. So a lot of stuff telling you, hey, we're going down. All right, again, we close with a flat top here on the weekly, which usually means more downside. Now, doesn't mean that it's gonna go straight down. We might hover around here, but eventually, you know, like in this areas, we just didn't go straight down to where we at right now, right? It took its right here. It kind of consolidated for a little bit here, and then it broke down again. So something that I'm talking several weeks ahead, this thing can keep coming down. We go to the daily, again, another doji. Let me erase this here. Another doji with red volume, momentum to the downside. So not looking good for tomorrow, not looking good at all. If we go here to the hourly, and what are we looking at? The same thing, guys. We broke this upper trend. Look at this beautiful bounces on the 1 hour, and finally we broke below. So tomorrow, again, possible, you know, come and touch here, and then rejection to the downside. So tomorrow, watch that. Probably pre-market hit here and then come down. Or if it sells off in the pre-market, another thing that can happen, if it sells off in the pre-market, we might get a bounce at the open and come and test, you know, those levels. So something to keep on watch. Which either happens first, we're gonna be ready and we're gonna be watching for tomorrow. So that is the cues, and let's go ahead and move over to, let's move back to the weekly. Let's move to NVDA. See how NVDA is looking. NVIDIA. Okay, again, looking for that $200 area on NVIDIA. Again, momentum to the downside. We close red again. You know, we close below EMAs here, so not looking pretty, not looking pretty at all. On the daily, we are holding this upper trend here that I called out on the group, okay, when it was coming down here, and we bounced right off of it, but I think it's fragile. I don't think it's gonna hold. I think we're gonna continue. If we crack this area, okay, we crack this area that's been holding on really well, I think now we have room to that 180, 170 area. All right, so that's something that you need to be looking for in this possible week to come. If we do move up, okay, if we do move up, we're gonna have a lot of resistance here at what, 234, and if for some reason we were to break, I mean, we have a lot of resistance here, 340, 245. I just don't see it going up to these levels. If we were to go those levels, I think we would hit the resistance there and come back down. Eventually, I think if the market is weak, we're gonna break this area, and that's when we're gonna flush to the downside. So keep an eye on that. Let's go to the 1 hourly and see how things are looking for tomorrow. Again, look at this for the intraday, guys. We broke trend here. Beautiful 1 hour trend that we're holding up. 1, 2, and then this 3-1. All right, we broke below here. I thought NVDA, I thought we were gonna bounce off of here and, you know, bounce to the upside. But again, with the market being weak, SPY broke trend and it didn't look good. I think just everybody overall just wasn't comfortable buying here at the support. Usually when we break the trend, we buy at support, and traders, we bring this back up to the upside. That's usually the psychology behind this trend breaks. We test them and we go. But tomorrow, since now we broke to the downtrend, now I'm looking at the opposite, right? We go test these areas and then come back down. So intraday on Microsoft, this would be a target 206, okay, for tomorrow or Tuesday. That is something that you need to watch. This is a target that we've bounced off before too, right here, back on 2 weeks ago. Yeah, because last Thursday was this right here, and so 2 weeks ago. So this is a potential very, very good support here on NVIDIA. Again, we're testing very good supports. I just don't feel like they're gonna hold this time around. I feel like if we break, also there's a bunch of things going on with Russia, and you know, they keep throwing in the United States. If we get involved, it's gonna get messy, and it's just a lot of uncertainty. And I just think if we break these levels that we've been watching on this past stocks, they all have the same similar pattern, and I just think we break those levels that we've been holding as well, things are not going to look good. When we break those levels that we've been bouncing off, I think people are going to get scared, they're going to be afraid, you know, they're going to go cash, and you know, just everything's going to just kind of go at the same time, which may cause this to finally break down. But again, we've been talking about it on this runs, guys. If you've been following my channel on this runs, I've been saying we're not out of the woods. You know why? Because we're below our EMAs and this rally too. So we've had these rallies, right? But these are fake rallies or fragile rallies or not real rallies, even though people get excited because intraday we move a lot, right? And so when you don't look at the big picture, like, oh my gosh, you know, we're recovering, go back in, everything's going to go back up. But it's just necessarily not the truth. Hey, Crystal, good to have you. But you see, even though we go up, we're making higher lows, you know, and last week we just made a higher low. So it's all good intraday, right? And it looks like we make good runs. And, you know, psychology just kind of tells you, you know, everything's good. But if you just zoom out a little bit and go back to the weekly, no, we're still going down. We're still on the downtrend. And so it is important that if you're swinging, you don't get caught up in this type of rallies. You know, this is I still think this is a day trader market or day trading market that we're in right now. Don't swing anything long more than 1 or 2 days, because that continuation is going to die off. And again, unless you're investing long term, you're buying this nice dips here, you know, in the support areas, you can, you know, start adding to some dips if you like dip buying. That's something that I do on stocks like Apple or even NVIDIA, Microsoft. Those are long-term investors for me, and I got real good average. So any dips around this area, I will add some shares to my long-term position. That's no biggie. But if you're just day trading or swinging, hoping it's gonna go back up, it's not a great idea. So this is more day traders market right now. So that is NVIDIA. Let's go back to which one's AMD. And they're all gonna look the same, guys. Everything for the most part looks the same. Here on NVIDIA, on AMD, this 100, we have bounced. We bounced last time really hard, and hopefully nobody bought up here thinking where we're gonna go up. You see, we're back at 100, and again, now the problem is now we're below EMAs here on the weekly. So that's not good, right? That's not good, and potentially this thing can come down to this $80 area, right? If we don't hold this 90 area, then 80, then this 52 area. If we get here, guys, this would be great advice, not financial advice. It's just my opinion for AMD. This area is right here between the 50s and the 45s for AMD. I think that's a recent price, or not a decent price, a really good price for AMD. You could fight right now that it might be overpriced, a little bit overvalued on the price. You know, there's all kinds of stuff you can argue about, but at the end of the day, you know, 10 years from now, you're not even gonna care, right? Is that talk is gonna be irrelevant. It's not even gonna matter, because it's gonna be up so much more than what it is now. And so any dips around this area, I think if you like this long term, would be great to add for your portfolio. Just my opinion. I do like AMD, and if it comes to this levels, I am gonna dip buy in this areas for long term. Again, intraday, let's go ahead and see what stock is looking for. Again, we did break this upper trend here on daily, not looking good, but we have this again, this $100 resistance, or not resistance, support. You can see we've bounced out it pretty well in the past, and again, if this breaks down below, just like all the other stocks, you know, we can have a little sell-off, just because people are gonna kind of be afraid there of that. Finally, we broke the support, and you know what's next, especially if we break the support with bad news of the war, with some sort of nuclear threats or something. Who knows, right? this can come crashing down. But just keep an eye out. So that's why in your positions day trading right now, make your money, get out, look for another opportunity, and don't be swinging options long term. Well, just my opinion. I mean, if you want to swing options, that's totally up to you. I'm not gonna tell you what to do, but just me and my group, I kind of try to advise them the best that I can of what I would do, and then at the end of the day, everybody, do what you feel that it's good for you. But as for us, we're day trading options, and they're working. We make money, and we sleep well because it doesn't matter if it goes down at the end of the night. If we're playing puts, we don't care if it goes up, right? Because we already made money. Then we look for another position and we trade it again. But I am looking long term for dip opportunities for this type of stock. So all kinds of stuff going on, guys, if you just know how to play your game. And let's see how Apple's doing. I don't think I put this on the watch list, but definitely Apple, one of my favorite. Let's go ahead and go to the weekly here. Again, this Apple has real nice support here at 159. What did we close? 154. So it's just hard to tell because you're looking at the weekly candle. Again, momentum to the downside. Ever since January, you see the momentum here on the weekly, close to red volumes with the flat top. So I'm still just with the whole market. I'm thinking Apple's gonna come down. Apple it's been holding up really nice, guys. Overall, you've seen the other stocks, they trend a lot down, a lot more further, but Apple's holding out really well, and that's why I like Apple. And if Apple were to get to this areas of the 140s, definitely a buy for me, and I would add more. I think I have a real good position on Apple, and I would just add more around this area for long term. 10 years from now, nobody's gonna care that it's gonna be up more. Just my opinion, but we'll see. So Apple, if we go daily, same thing, flat bottom with red volume momentum to the downside. Looking to bounce here at the 150, and then we have support here at 140, which would be great. And if we go intraday here on the 1 hour, you could see on the 1 hour we have a downtrend, right? So guys, don't make it hard. We have, look at this downtrend here, up there, right? This one didn't come right. I was looking for a bounce here. It never came down there, but look at where it rejected that trend, right? So don't make it hard. Always look at the intraday, look at your 1 hour, see what your 1 hour is doing, look for a pattern, and then execute. Don't chase it in no man's land. Try to get in some type of support for a long, or some type of put for a short. And that's what I'm always looking out for the team, and I'm putting those charts, and I'm on voice telling them, hey, look at this. I just don't tell them why I'm trading. I tell them exactly why I'm trading, why I'm taking that trade. I'm telling them, look, draw this trend line from this day to this day. I'm explaining to them. I want them to learn, not just for me to tell them, get in here, oh wow, you're genius, right? No. I want them to learn to see what I'm seeing, so they can start seeing these patterns too, so they can learn. All right. Crystal says, look at SQ. Awesome, Crystal. We're going to look at it right now. So NVIDIA. Okay, and then I got one more. I got two more, and then we're going to go to SQ, and then we're going to call it a night, guys. So Microsoft, same thing. If we go here to the weekly, again, look at this momentum all the way to the downside. Look at this all the way down. We close with red volume after this doji. Guys, it's simple. That's why I love how you can actually candles put this. I mean, it tells you the story. We go to daily. Now we have a doji with red volume, momentum to the downside. My biases were going down tomorrow. We're breaking low. Again, this could break to the upside. Test 296 and then reject to the bottom. All right, on this, remember, we're in the daily. This can happen within a couple of days. Not gonna happen all tomorrow, right? But what we can see what can happen tomorrow, we go zoom into the 1 hour. All right, and you can see again momentum to the downside on the 1 hour, and we have the support here about 278. again, if the market just continues to flush down, we can come and hit this 270 support for tomorrow. So watch that. If this doesn't hold, definitely 270 for tomorrow and today for a trade. Again, if the market decides to go up in the pre-market, I feel we're going to reject in these levels and come down. So keep that on watch. And now we have Tesla, our good old friend, and then we have SQ. Let's see here. Tesla, not too bad. We came and bounced off the 700 and shot up like a rocket. That day the market opened up. We had a plan here, and this just bounced off on pre-market and didn't get to execute. But a day previously to that, me and some of the members, we wanted to get in right there, right at the 700 area and going long. But again, weekly looks a bit bearish there for Tesla. Again, look at the trend here on the daily. We closed on a flat top with red volume, momentum shifting to the downside. So I'm expecting more downside on Tesla. Again, if we do hold 790, remember Tesla can move up and down. It's very volatile. So Tesla tomorrow can go up here, and we'll look at the 1 hour, and then we can go down. So let's look at the 1 hour really quick. Yeah, we're coming near that support. Again, look at the 1 hour trend, guys. Right, we bounced, and we couldn't get above this trend here, and now we broke below. So what happens when you break a trend, right? I always talk about in the channel, we go up, we test the trend, and then we come down. So yeah, tomorrow we could definitely maybe have a little run, or maybe, I don't think that long, right? But to about, that's 811, and then push down. So you see Tesla running at the open, and it's going up. Be careful, because Tesla tends to do that, right? It'll go up, and then after an hour, it'll just make a new low of the day and finish off red. So that is Tesla for you. All right, so let's go with Crystal. Crystal's one of the members at our Discord, and she is looking at SQ. She says, let's see what's happening with. Does he have any news? I think SQ has price target from 180. Yes, it had some price cuts on Friday. Yeah, Square, I think now it's block. Yeah, they call it block. So Square, you could see, it started from right here on the weekly. You could see just on a downtrend, and it's been torn pretty much. We did hit the resistance here on this weekly, and it looks like we're coming back down to this 80 area. But let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go to the daily. So Square, we finally found this 82 area of support. This is gonna be an area of support here, which is 80. Let's zoom in a little bit. 88, 89. If we can hold there, again, this is the daily. This could happen within a few days. We can come and test this 119 again, but we need to hold this 88, 89 area. If we don't hold, yeah, this thing has a trend down here and then come. Again, this is the daily, so this is gonna happen within multiple days. But we did close on a doji with red volume, so our next area of support is going to be 93. So potentially 93 tomorrow. And the way we can see our potential targets for tomorrow is always to scale down and look at the 1 hour. Okay, so now we know we closed at doji with red volume with momentum to the downside. So we form a bias that is probably going to we're probably going to get a red day tomorrow, right? So now we go to the to Square on the 1 hourly. And what do you know? Look at this trend line that we have, Crystal, here on Square. All right, so 90, this is the area I was talking to you about on the daily. You see 98, 99 area. We need to bounce off of that on the 1 hour. If that breaks, we're coming down to this area around 93. All right, so we need to stay above this area. If we stay above this area, we can come here 98 and then come and test this downtrend again. And I don't know that we can break that downtrend, which is the overall market is looking weak and is looking like it's going to be bloody. But if we do break this trend here, we'll come maybe to 93, test back to 99, and potentially come down to this 87 area. So that's what I'm looking at, SQ. So make sure you put your 1 hour and then draw your plan A, your plan B, and plan C. What do I mean by that? Okay, so your plan A would say, okay, if it comes to this level and it holds, I'm gonna buy some calls, for the long side and to hit potentially that 105. All right, so that's scenario 1. All right, so what happens if it doesn't hold, if it breaks? Okay, if it breaks, I'm gonna wait for it to come back and test the trend and reject and get some puts there, right, at the rejection, because we're not going to come down and break to the upside. I mean, it could happen, but that's not usually how the market works, right? So right here, puts, and then your targets will be 93 to this 90 area. So those would be the plan, and whatever happens first, that's the one you take. So you're just waiting. You let the trade come to you, right? That's what we mean when we say let the trade come to you. Right? Don't just buy in anywhere without a plan. Now wait for this type of supports or resistance and then to execute. And then your chances of winning are going to be greater. All right. So that's, did you say Bill? All right. I've never traded this one. I don't think. But again, weekly bearish, flat bottom, flat top. We are holding this uptrend here, and the CMAs right here on Bill, which is interesting. We did close like every other stock with a doji indecision candle there. We've had some consolidation here for the past 3 days. But the momentum's to the downside with red volume. Yeah, just the overall market weakness. I think, we're just going to keep coming down to 177 will be a good support here on the daily. But let's zoom into the 1 hour and see what we can get intraday. Yeah, you can see we broke this uptrend that we had since, Tuesday? And Thursday we bounced, and then we broke. Yeah. Looking bearish. I see this stock coming back down to this area 176. If that doesn't hold, 168. This would be a good area for a bounce, Krista. If you're looking at this one, it does come down to this level. So 168 area right here. If we get it either tomorrow or Tuesday, this would be a good area for a potential bounce back to the top intraday. So that's my analysis on that. If tomorrow pre-market we do go up, we're gonna have resistance there, and I think we come back down. So draw your 1 hour and draw your different scenarios. Draw your spots where you want to get in and say, okay, I want to get a put there, right? I want to get a potential call there. If you see it bounce off, or I want to get, if it breaks, I want to get a call here. All right. So how can you know if it holds? You wait for a confirmation, like for example here on the 1 hour, you see that doji, you see that green volume. Okay, what is that telling you? A potential reversal, right, on your side. So always wait for that. Okay, here we have another one, right? The 1 hour indecision candle or doji candle with green volume. Okay. And either you break for the upside or you anticipate that we're gonna go back up, all right? Because you got nice volume here with a doji, and you already know with Heikin candles, those are the reversals that we look for, right? And then we look at the volume, and then you look at the momentum squeeze. Where are we going, right? And so that gives you an idea, a probability that it's gonna be more on your side on what you're thinking. Right, it's not always percent, but the percentage is pretty high. All right, doing it this way, that you're gonna get that reversal. It's pretty high when you align the volume and the momentum squeeze. And so that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for checking out the video. Again, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share with your family and friends if they want to learn technical analysis. I think I keep it simple, I keep it real, and my types of strategy, I think they're a lot more simple than other people, and they work. They have a really high probability compared to other things. So thank you again so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe. If you want to join us on Discord, where I trade live, where I teach, click on the link down below and click to sign up to our Discord. Very, very affordable, just so I can teach, as well as tell you guys when I take my trades. So if you would like that, go ahead and click on that. Other than that, guys, I'll see you guys mañana. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Enjoy it with your family and friends. Everybody have a blessed rest of the night, and I'll see you guys mañana. Adios. Bye bye.